So the Owl House aired its season 1 finale, Young Blood, Old Souls, on August 29th, 2020. Since then, we've had an AMA and a charity stream from Dana, which led to some new information and some looks behind the scene on the production of the show. But outside of that, there has pretty much been no news about when the return of the Owl House will be. At the time of me recording this video, we're nearly 6 months out from the airing of the finale, and with people constantly asking me the question, I will give my thoughts on when I think the Owl House is coming back with season 2. But I do think it's kind of funny that people ask me when the show is coming back as if I know. Honestly, even the crews working on animated shows don't know when the episodes are going to air. Airing schedules are all up to the company, not the showrunners and crew. That being said though, you can usually get an estimate for when episodes of a show will air. But just keep in mind, these will be my own thoughts and speculations. Disney has made no official announcements on when the Owl House will return. Trust me, when that day comes, I will make a video about it as soon as possible. So just take everything I say with a grain of salt, don't take it all as fact, alright? And I also recommend you check out my friend Ostrich Vox over at the Roundtable for his video on this topic. We come to a lot of the same conclusions, but with us getting new air dates of Amphibia and a recent post on Dana's Instagram, I had some of my own thoughts that I wanted to discuss. But like I said, the Owl House has been on hiatus since August 29th, 2020. Being that we're nearly 6 months out from when Young Blood, Old Souls aired and no news, it may be easy to get discouraged. But to give you some hope, season 2 has likely been in production for a while. Even before the first episode of season 1 was aired, the Owl House was already picked up for a second season. Animation is a long process, so there was likely no time wasted in starting the production of season 2. Now recently, Dana posted to Instagram a sheet from a recording session for Ida. I love how everyone completely lost their minds at this, wondering what this was, if it was some sort of secret code, but as Dana clarified a bit later, this is how they indicate what takes they prefer for lines. To those who are curious about the previous post, those letters are different reads for a line of dialogue. A voice actor will record a variety of options for a scene, and me and/or a director will pick a preference. And also shout out to those who have been trying to decipher what words are written out on the sheet. I just think it's gonna be funny down the road when we hear any of these words together and we'll all be like, oh, it's this episode. So we know for sure that episodes are in the works right now. But back on July 20th, Dana posted this photo to Twitter. And while most people were focused on the King plush, my eyes immediately went to the papers on the desk. Now, I didn't post about this anywhere at the time, but I did discuss this in a Discord server with others on what I thought this sheet of paper was. I assumed it was for a recording session with Wendy Malick, the voice of Ida, and that the numbers next to the letters indicated which line it was, and the letters were the preferred takes. But not knowing much about production or voiceover, I didn't want to put my assumptions out there only to be completely off base, and then people would have been disappointed. Thankfully, my initial assumptions were right since Dana offered that insight into the production of the show. Now what I want to talk about is the number at the top, 207, and I believe that this number is the production code for the episode. In this particular instance, I think it would be season 2 and the 7th episode in production. This is a pretty common way to note production codes. Season 1 of the Owl House did the same, although they began with 1 rather than a 2 because, you know, season 1. Now I say the 7th episode in production because it doesn't necessarily mean this will be the 7th episode aired when season 2 comes out. If you look at the production codes of season 1, not all of them correspond to the order in which the episodes aired. Escape of the Palisman was the 10th episode aired, but had a production code of 108. Adventures in the Elements was the 12th episode aired, but had a production code of 110. Really Small Problems was the 14th episode and had a code of 112. So on and so forth, you get the idea. And in this particular instance, we even have the production code of 117 missing. So my point is, don't fixate on this particular episode being the 7th aired in season 2. Production doesn't always go chronologically. And who knows, I may be off here with the whole production code thing anyway. But what this does tell us is that season 2 episodes have been in production during the summer. That is, if this picture that Dana posted was in fact taken over the summer, which I am assuming it was. Now, episodes that take up a 22-minute block usually take about 9 months to a year to make. So if episodes were in production over the summer, then it's likely we'll be seeing those episodes air this coming summer. This would also mean that whatever episode Dana shared the recording sheet for on her Instagram would likely be airing early 2022. Now also keep in mind that COVID-19 and the pandemic have shifted things around and could have delayed some stuff, so these are very general timeframes. But summer seems like a fitting estimate for when we could be seeing the return of the Owl House. Like I just said, that would line up with the usual production pipeline, but with the airing of shows like Big City Greens and the recently announced episodes of Amphibia, Disney could be trying to pace out their shows to air sequentially. Big City Greens was the first Disney Channel show that began airing new episodes in 2021, with Chipocalypse Now airing on January 16th. The last of this batch of episodes, Date Night and The Room, airing on February 13th. Big City Greens will then go into a brief hiatus till March 6th, where it will air new episodes alongside Amphibia, which recently announced its first batch of episodes for the remainder of Season 2. On March 27th, Big City Greens will conclude its second season, while Amphibia will finish out its first batch of episodes of the second half of Season 2. After March 27th, this would leave 5 22-minute blocks of episodes left for Amphibia. Now we don't know if Amphibia will be taking a brief hiatus like Big City Greens did between the airing of their episodes. If they air the remaining episodes after March 27th immediately, that will take us to May 1st. If there is a brief 2-week hiatus like how we saw with Big City Greens, then that would take us to May 15th for the Season 2 finale of Amphibia. This would put us right at the end of spring, about to head into summer, so the Owl House could come back around the time Amphibia finishes up. I'm sure Disney TVA is aware that there are many viewers out there that are fans of both Amphibia and the Owl House, so having one pick up right after the other would be a good way to keep viewers engaged. Now, one of the other things that points to episodes airing in the summer is that Disney has yet to release their new show, The Ghost and Molly McGee. Originally, it was intended to air in 2020, however, because of COVID-19 and the pandemic, it was shifted back to 2021. But with an initial release of 2020, it would make sense for the show to premiere early 2021, even with the pandemic shifting things. But with recording this video mid-February and no such news coming out, it will likely be released even later. We're seeing over the winter and spring with Big City Greens and Amphibia that Disney likes airing their shows concurrent with each other. With Big City Greens wrapping up Season 2 on March 27th, Amphibia may air their remaining episodes solo for a bit like Big City Greens did in the beginning of the year. Once May rolls around and Amphibia wraps up, we could be seeing the Owl House and the Ghost and Molly McGee airing alongside each other for a summer block from Disney TVA. That would put the Owl House picking up again roughly a year after its Season 1 finale, which is a long time, but considering that Amphibia and the Owl House are sister shows, and Amphibia started airing its second season almost exactly a year after the Season 1 finale, I could see a similar case playing out with the Owl House. Even Big City Greens had an 8-month hiatus between its first and second season. So just going off of these two shows, long hiatuses aren't anything new for Disney TVA shows between their first and second seasons. Add in the fact that COVID-19 has affected aspects of production and that the Ghost and Molly McGee has yet to air in 2021 and will likely need an airing buddy, then it's looking like we'll be seeing the Owl House return this summer. I know it probably seems like we're still a ways away, but hey, we've at least made it through half the year already. Plus, with Big City Greens airing and Amphibia getting ready to air its second half of Season 2, that should lessen the slow crawl that is the hiatus. And like I said, Amphibia might lead directly into the Owl House airing Season 2. Just keep in mind that this is all entirely speculation on my end. As of right now, no one knows for sure when the Owl House is coming back. But hopefully this video gives you some assurance that episodes may be coming this summer. Or I guess this video could also be absolutely heartbreaking for you if you think the summer is too far away. But at the very least, we may get some news late spring if new episodes do start airing in the summer. But all I can say for now is to continue to support the show and the crew. Hiatuses can be rough, especially long ones, but I found that long hiatuses just add to the hype and anticipation for the return of a show. And I think the same can be said for the Owl House as we all eagerly wait. Thank you so much for watching, I hope you have a fantastic day, and until next time guys, take care.